In Oakland, California, I facilitated a group, and usually I'm pretty good with kids. I can get them to talk. They were just so depressed, talking about school and time, and at the very end I said, so there's this lawsuit, and the civil rights struggle is to get more time for all of you. And this one young man looked me in the eye and he said, lady, you seem really nice. Please don't make us go to school for longer days. It already feels like jail. The young people successfully flipped the script from a narrow question of disparities to the larger wicked problem of precarity and miseducation within their schools and cross-sector structural betrayal. Listening closely, we learned 3 things. And again, I credit this to the work that Lois and I have done in thinking through how do you get behind the story? How do you tell a different story? Listening closely, we learned 1, beware the seductive appeal of technical solutions to wicked problems. They are all around us, and they are in drag as a civil rights agenda these days. 2, it's a cruel policy irony that the young people with the most personally, materially, and existentially precarious lives attend the schools that are most structurally unstable. A colleague I met in South Africa this summer, Achille Mbembe, calls that necropolitics. That is, politics that determines who lives and who dies. And 3rd is, even in circumstances of massive disinvestment and civic betrayal, young people in highly precarious circumstances nevertheless yearn for opportunities to be respected, recognized, and educated, to dive into critical histories, create opportunities for and with their communities, particularly younger children, and to mobilize for educational justice. We interviewed the same kids who went to these schools at a summer program, one at Berkeley and one at UCLA, where they are engaged in very critical education, and they were so engaged. When I asked them about time, the pictures were so different. They were like, not the banking model, quotes by Che, give us our ethnic histories, give us our civic histories. I want to work hard. I want to learn things I don't know. I don't want to be disrespected and disparaged within the place called schooling. Despairing about their schools, these young people nevertheless have a thirst to be educated. By listening to the voices of young people speaking across very different educational settings, we learn just how much context matters when it looks like it's about the kid, when it's really about context. Demographically identical youth were so passionately engaged in settings that invited inquiry, critical history, creativity, and deep participation, and so fundamentally alienated in settings corroded by neoliberal reforms. More instructional time is, of course, a human right, particularly for young people routinely denied equal time in school, and yet more time and systematically disinvested in dehumanizing buildings is no one's idea of justice. Ultimately, we chose not to testify. We met with the lawyers and explained that we couldn't testify for the civil right to more instructional time in schools that violate the dignity of the young. We continue to work with lawyers, youth, community activists advocating for more time in worthy educational settings, and we continue to write on precarity, not only as the rallying cry of Occupy and activist movements in Europe, but as a material condition, a struggle, and also a source of wisdom in young people who are struggling to find education in incredibly unequal times. Thank you.